to episode 222 of the Muck Podcast. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Hudemino.
And I'm Hillary Dockery.
Hillary!
Hi.
It's been a shit week.
Yeah. Been a bad week. Bad week.
Yeah.
I only have a couple things, but they're both, I think, heavy and need to be discussed.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's episode 222. Are you into numerology? Because I looked it up. These numbers are supposed to mean something like angel numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so in numerology, the number 222 is often associated with relationships, both romantic and platonic, and is said to represent empathy and cooperation with others. It is also believed to symbolize balance, harmony, and spiritual alignment, and is said to encourage enhanced connections in personal and professional life.
Ooh, I like that.
Those are good vibes going in. Those are good. Let's just talk about how we had good vibes going in.
Yes. So, 222, like how people have certain numbers when they look at the clock all the time?
Yes.
222 is
yours?
Yeah.
Wow.
All the time.
Look at that. Balance, harmony.
It's weird. And then the other one is 1111.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people see 1111.
Yeah. That's when you gotta play the lottery. Gotta play the lottery that day.
Oh.
Also, happy May the 4th. Is that wrong?
No, that's live long and prosper.
Oh.
And you know that. You're
Damn
nerd.
it. I'm a nerd. Oh. Darth Vader represent. Darth Vader.
I didn't even notice this. I love it.
Darth Vader stand. Darth Vader is the most misunderstood romantic man on the planet in the universe. In the universe.
Gosh.
Okay? He's a hopeless romantic, everybody. Calm down. Did he murder in the name of love? Yes, he did. Children? Yes, he did murder children.
He did.
But he loved somebody.
He did.
And when you love somebody... That's a song. I don't know if that's a song, but I just made it up.
I like it. It's cute.
It's my theme song for Darth Vader. They really should be playing when he's Anakin and he goes into that school and kills all those children. They should be playing some romantic tune.
What?
Little saxophone. Like he's doing it in the name of love.
My favorite moment in that movie, 1, 2, and 3, let's face it, not the best, but out of 1, 2, and 3, 3 is my favorite out of the 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the favorite of the franchise.
Right.
Okay. Originals, OG, absolutely.
Okay.
The one that is the Force Awakens, is that the one? The one that's the middle one that bridges the gap.
Yes.
That is a good one where ship loads up at the end and like they're all gone. And the plans are handed at the end.
Oh no, you're talking about
not Force Awakens.
No, you're talking about a side movie. It's the
it's the in-between
yes,
one.
Everybody loved that movie so much. Hold on a second.
Force One.
Oh my god.
It's with the chick. It's with what's his face?
She's so good too.
What's his face?
Rogue One.
God,
everybody loves Rogue One.
Rogue One is so good. I don't remember the name, but damn, do I know it? There's too many of them.
It's good.
But out of 1, 2, 3, but in 1, 2, 3, when that man has that Frankenstein moment at the end, I laugh every time when he's like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, well.
The fight scene in the fire, not bad,
Yeah.
He's like, you are the chosen one.
Yeah, well, we don't watch episode 1 in this house.
Episode 1, that Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, no, we cut that out. We do Machete Order. Have you ever watched Machete Order?
What's that?
So Machete Order is watching it in time. So you watch episode 4 and episode 5.
Okay.
Then you jump and watch episode 2 and 3 because you're gonna get a feel of like
Clone Wars.
Yeah, you watch Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then you go back and watch Return of the Jedi because you got to see how Anakin became Darth Vader, like his backstory.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Return of the Jedi, and then you watch 7, 8, 9. Machete, cut it up, and then you cut episode 1 out. I just saw the guy who played Jar Jar Binks. It was on New York Times this morning, and he was like, I just said the words like George Lucas wrote them. I was like, oh my god, this poor fucking guy.
He'll never live it down.
I know.
He'll never live it down.
Guess what? My son loves Jar Jar Binks. He thinks he's great. Like, I was like, all right, cool, that's cool. But at the time, it was a problem.
Oh god. I actually remember going to that movie because, I was so excited because it was like a first Star Wars movie.
I remember seeing the poster of little Anakin and the Darth Vader shadow.
Oh my god.
Girl, it was so exciting.
And then you went into that movie.
Yeah.
And you walked out and you were like, what did they do to this thing that we all love?
George Lucas. Go watch the documentary The People versus George Lucas. It's fucking fantastic. It's really, you'd love it. Your kids would love it. It's so good. And it's basically the fans going, why? Why is he doing this to us? He re-edits these films. He puts in back in things.
Re-edits because
really
he's
fucked
petty
up.
and he wants that money from his ex.
But it's also he adds things in or he takes things out.
Yeah.
So Han shot first. We're all on the same page with that. Okay?
100%.
This is crazy. Stop doing this to me, George Lucas. I hate you. That being said,
dare they?
That being said, if somebody doesn't like episodes 7, 8, 9, I have a problem with you.
I do too.
I go fuck yourself.
Okay,
Those
wait.
are such good stories. And Kylo Ren, I love him. Okay, when they kiss in that movie,
that
fight
bad.
scene when they fight together.
That's the last one.
When they fight, but when they fight together in the Last Jedi, they're back to back fighting together. One of the best scenes ever. One of the best scenes ever in Star Wars movie.
I'm, my favorite out of all of them is Empire.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
That's a consensus. I think
everybody likes Empire.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on. But yeah, my son trashes 7, 8, 9. I can't stand it. And you know what? I don't like it. We need these stories. Why not take the story?
I mean,
they're good.
Remember, like all the emo Kylo Ren stuff.
He's a baby. When he would trash things,
it was so funny.
I gotta tell you,
remember SNL did Kylo Ren?
He works the workplace.
It was
hilarious.
So
it's so fucking good.
It was like one of my favorites.
Girl, it's the fucking best. I love it. Anyway, we're gonna take our kids to a Star Wars May the 4th event later on today. So anyway, we're gonna have fun. Yes. And that being said, let's get into it.
Let's get into the sadness.
Before we get into the 6-week abortion ban and the college campus protests and what the fuck's going on with Biden and what the fuck, I don't know what's going on there, what they're doing there with Gaza. I wanted to talk about, this is a perfect, is microcosm the right word? Is that it? Right? Of what happens in the Florida Democratic Party, okay? Because this is the craziest story. My head was looking so quickly back and forth this week, like, what the fuck is going on with this? Mindy Koch? She was the chair in the Palm Beach Democrats.
Oh.
And she was one of 3 chairs that was removed by Nikki Fried 2 months ago or something. For whatever reasons, she had her reasons, and so they removed her. But she can't just remove them. She has to she removes them for a time. The vice chair steps up, and then there has to be a vote. And if you're a voting member of the Florida Dems, which is like state committee men and women, I think other chairs. Anyway, all these people can vote. They have to decide whether Nikki Fried can rightfully remove you or you get reinstated, right? So they had this huge meeting a few weeks after Mindy was removed, and out of the 3, she has to state her case and everything. She was the only one who they reinstated. The whole group voted that she can stay on as the Palm Beach chair. Great. Okay. Right? Fine. A few weeks later, this was literally 4 weeks later, she announces on May 1st she's stepping down as the chair. Now, girl, I gotta tell you, I'm not that involved in the party locally. But if I was, and this shit was happening where I go, I would be so fucking frustrated. Like, why would anybody stay and hang around? It's chaos. Right. And the reason she was removed, there was a lot of people. It was a very contentious race when she was elected. It was 1 vote separating her and the other person.
Oh, I remember that. Actually.
And she was complaining that she can't get anything done because the people who wanted the other person won't work with her because half her board was for the other person.
About this.
Yes. So she couldn't really move. Like, she was having a really hard time doing the work, according to her. Okay. So she steps down May 1st, and I'm like, you literally just fought for this job back like 4 weeks ago. What the fuck? Guess what happens on May 2nd?
What?
She files to run for Palm Beach School Board.
So that's why she quit?
I have no idea. But what the fuck are you doing? Girl.
Well, you can't hold that seat and run?
I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't understand.
And if you knew
maybe because it's nonpartisan, maybe it's a nonpartisan seat, and so she can't be a chair. And I don't know, like, who's gonna talk to her if they're Republican, if she's a chair of the Dem Party.
But you must know during all this chaos that you're gonna file.
You're considering so why fight to keep the job? Yeah. Why are you doing that? It just furthers this, like, And also, at some point, like it's May 4th. We got an election in exactly, what, 6 months? Exactly 6 months from today?
We're done.
And you don't have a plan. What's your plan? Does the person who's coming up behind you have a plan? What the fuck is going on out there? And Palm Beach is like, I don't want to say they're very red, but they're getting redder.
Yes.
But that's a blue county. It was.
No, we're losing. Broward, which is now purple. You know, we're not like the solid blue that we were.
Oh my God.
And then now we're going to have red, and we're going to be this little small bastion of hope in the middle of Florida. And like, you know how things are in Broward, girl.
Yeah, a mess. So anyway, I just thought that was like, it was complete insanity. And I don't know, also if I'm sorry, and I don't know her personally at all. Like, I've never met her. I don't know anything about her. Literally don't know anything except what I see in the paper and all of these things. If you're this chaotic as a human being, who the fuck would want to vote for that person? Like, who are you? What are you doing? What are you doing, girl? You have an obligation. Like, you fought to keep this job and to work for the Palm Beach Dems to do that. Well, work. It's volunteering. But to lead them in a very important election coming up, and it's not like Biden's gonna win Florida, but I'm sure there's a lot of down ballot seats that need your attention and need your help. And you're flip flopping all over the goddamn place. Now you're gonna run for school board, girl? What the fuck?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's shocking. It's shocking. And you seem chaotic, and I'm sorry, but no. All right. Where when did you 6-week abortion ban? Because when our episode came out last week on May 1st, we had talked about the Florida Supreme Court had already, the 30 days before, had upheld the 6-week abortion ban, which is considered a heartbeat bill. Most women don't know they're pregnant at 6 weeks. And in 30 days, it was going into effect, and it went into effect May 1st, which means on April 30th, every abortion clinic in the state of Florida was up to their shoulders in abortions because they were packed from morning till midnight. Yeah. Those stories were insane. And also the panic that was for those 30 days, the hospitals and abortion clinics were begging the state of Florida for some sort of guidance on very specifically who they can help and when, because those laws are written very vague. And they're written in a vague way so that when a doctor or a hospital is reading the regulations, they go, well, we could lose our license and possibly help this person, or we could let them die. Yeah. Lose our license, give them medical care. Which one should we do? We'll turn them away because they want it to be vague. They don't want women to actually be helped. So guess when the regulations came down? Not 6 months earlier when this was sitting in front of the Supreme Court and the state of Florida had all of the opportunity to start writing, what are these regulations? Who can you help after 6 weeks, right? Who's allowed to get medical care after 6 weeks? And they had all that time while we're waiting for the Supreme Court to write these regulations. No. All those 30 days after the Supreme Court said, May 1st, this is going into effect, they had all that time to write it. Did they do that? No. Do you know when they came out? May 2nd. May 2nd. That's how little they care about women in the state of Florida. We don't give a fuck about you. We don't care about giving guidance to hospitals and doctors. They don't give a fuck about any of that. We don't fucking fuck you. Fuck you.
So you know they're also they have put out. I don't know if it was Planned Parenthood. I can't remember. Where basically it's saying if you are a pregnant woman, do not come to the state of Florida because if you're here on vacation and God forbid something happens, you will not have care. So if you are a pregnant person and you want to come to Florida, go somewhere else for your vacation. Do not come to this state. Do not come to this state. And then just imagining all of the women who in this state are living here and would need care throughout their pregnancy and having this fear. I can't imagine what that must be like. I can't imagine.
I would not get pregnant here right now. I wouldn't. Especially if you are having a hard time getting pregnant. Who knows what the complications what could happen. Also, I know plenty of women who have had very healthy, got pregnant easily, had the baby, everything's healthy, and then the second time around, they have no idea, right? You never know what could happen.
What's gonna happen.
You don't know. You can have a healthy baby, and then there's a complications with the second one. You don't know.
Or even like ectopic pregnancies, like that
Right.
is so incredibly dangerous, and you have to work quickly.
Yeah.
And you're gonna let someone die?
Well, so after 6 weeks, the regulations are ectopic pregnancy. They can give them care, abortion care. If the membrane ruptures, so the water breaks, after the 6 weeks before the baby obviously is able to survive outside the womb, they can give them an abortion. But
Otherwise.
And I sent you an article. I sent Tina a screenshot this week. Another baby was found in a dumpster in a trash can outside USF, which is University of South Florida in Tampa. So I said that on a podcast a few weeks ago. We're going to be seeing more of this. There was another one in the dump here in Broward County. Another baby wrapped up in a blanket. And the police chief in Tampa said, we have a drop off. You can drop off your baby at any fire station within 7 days of having the baby. When you've delivered the baby on your own and the trauma isn't enough. Hey, just drop it at the fire station. Yeah. You don't need to throw your baby in the dumpster. You're talking about somebody who's mentally ill at this point. Broken. Something fucking happened here. And they delivered this child on their own, this baby on their own.
Who knows if the baby's stillborn?
Right.
Who knows if there's a complication?
We don't know.
Who knows?
And also, I have a hard time listening to anybody that's government, police, or anything right now. If I were a person having a baby, you think I'm going to go and... No, I'm sorry. But y'all, how about this, police chief? How about you go and you advocate for these women in Tallahassee? Y'all love to stand behind Ron DeSantis at his press conferences, all you fucking police officers, all you cops. You love to stand behind him when he's fighting for you, although he's putting more guns on the street. He's making that law a lot more unsafe for you and your job. Why don't you go and advocate for these women so you don't have to find babies in trash cans? Why don't you advocate for these women?
So I have
big mouth motherfucker.
So my sort of PSA to women in the state of Florida is when you go to the doctor from now on, and they say to you, because every time a woman goes to the doctor, they always ask the question:
when was your last period?
When was the date of your last menstrual period, or your cycle, or whatever it is? Do not answer that question anymore.
No.
Don't answer it.
No, I already told my daughter.
Do not answer that question. And when they say, no, we need this information, just say, no, I'm good. I know when it was.
Yeah, no.
And that's it. Do not have any record of when you are menstruating, because what's happening in states like Texas is they are going to subpoena medical records. And you can say to your doctor, because, the doctor's going to be like, yo, this is just between me and you. And then you could say, so if your records are subpoenaed, and they're going to go, well, and there it is. So you need to say, I'm good. I don't want to give that information. Because if those records get subpoenaed, like what's happening in Texas, there's a guy who is suing. He is suing his ex who left the state to go get an abortion because she couldn't get the abortion in Texas, and left the state. And now he's got some crazy high-powered attorney that is going to sue this woman. And they're going to use her medical records to prove that she was pregnant and to do all of that. So do not let any medical provider know your menstruation cycle business. Track it. I wouldn't even put that shit in my phone. Mm-hmm. I used to track it in my phone. I wouldn't even do it in my phone.
No.
I would just, if you want to track it, go write it down on a piece of paper somewhere, have some fucking code. But do not tell any medical provider your menstruation cycle information.
Never.
Just don't.
Never.
Just don't. Because then they don't have any indication.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
But
no. There's nothing to apologize for.
That's what we got to do.
I was at the grocery store.
We got to tell all the young people.
I had my period last week. I was at the grocery store looking for tampons when I was grocery shopping. And for some reason, my Publix, they had moved all these aisles. Everything was all over. I'm lost. I was lost in my grocery store, and I was walking around.
That's the worst.
Why would they do this to me? Right? And the tampons weren't where the tampons were supposed to be. And so I'm going from aisle to aisle thinking, where the fuck are the tampons? And it occurred to me that this could be another way that they track us. Is they start putting tampons and feminine hygiene products behind the pharmacy, and you got to go up and say, I need a box of tampons, and you have to, that's another way I feel like they might track, right? Of course, I found the tampons. They were in the aisle.
Right.
I think that we would hopefully, Tampax would come to our aid and be like, you're not, you know what I mean? Free market kind of shit. But that's another way that I thought that's how they could track it, is through using those feminine hygiene.
Then it's gonna be like rogue women making like the old school like pads for people, you know what I mean? And like there'll be underground market.
So Billy Corbin goes on the Dan Le Batard show, which is a huge like radio show in Miami, and I'm sure it's broadcast nationally, and it's a lot of sports. But Dan Le Batard goes, they do a lot about Miami politics and politics in general, and they have honest conversations. And they had an amazing conversation this week. It was Dan Le Batard and Billy Corbin. It was on May 1st, and it was all about the abortion ban. It had a woman on who was turned away from a hospital, who wanted the child and was turned away. It was a fucking awful experience, her bleeding, and it was awful. God. But it was a conversation on a radio show where it was mostly men listeners. And I wrote on there as a comment, thank you so much, because we very rarely see men having this conversation for other men to hear it. It was incredible, in my opinion. Anyway, this guy, Chris Nelson, who's a major troll in Broward County, in Florida in general, he commented on it and he said, oh, come on, Billy, you guys always bring out the most rare story when in fact you want abortion on demand at any time for any reason. We all know damn well most abortions happen because a woman got pregnant by some loser she should have never hooked up with.
Oh.
And I wrote underneath it, and I put all questions, like 50 question marks. Yeah. And he wrote back, so you're saying I'm right. I know I'm right. It sucks, but I'm right. And then I wrote back, because
girl, you are like the troll takedown queen.
I'm so tired of these fucking assholes. And I wrote back, what? And he goes, he says, I know I'm right. It sucks, but I'm right. And I wrote, what sucks is reading some man I will never know or care about, having an opinion about who I want to have sex with and what decisions I make with my doctor. In no way is it any of your business what a woman does in her private life. But what I really started thinking, when I think about that comment, it's a good comment. I did all right. But what I really wanted to do is say, it's not about who the woman has sex with. Where are the repercussions for the man? She didn't get pregnant out of nowhere.
Right.
This isn't an immaculate conception, which, by the way, is not a real thing, never happens. That didn't happen. So what happens is you hook up with somebody, some loser. Where does that loser go? Why is it then that the man can just fuck anybody he wants and get them pregnant? Mm-hmm. Where's the responsibility on him? So it's not about the girl being a whore.
Right.
Because there's also two people in the situation.
Right.
He's also hooking up with somebody, but he has the fucking luxury of walking away, and the burden of what's going to happen to this woman in 6 weeks or after is on her back, not yours. So how about you stop fucking people, because he's an incel loser, this guy. He's an incel.
No one's hooking up with him.
That's right. But the men who this falls back on, y'all better start figuring out and stop putting women so carelessly in this position to begin with. There's no such thing as casual sex in the state of Florida anymore.
Nope.
There's no such thing.
You better, and men who are like, I don't like to wear a condom, or men, you know what I mean? Like, the burden is always on the woman.
Yeah.
It's always
on the woman. And I'm tired of that.
And
it's fucking bullshit.
I mean, girl.
God. Have some responsibility. Take some responsibility for it.
Get a vasectomy and get it, reversed later on if you want to just, be freewheeling. You know what I mean?
I guess you're just not going to be able to have sex with whoever you want anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's what we do, right? Women are just going and hooking up with men all the time because we are so hungry for that dick, right? Because we can't stand it. We need to fuck everybody. Yeah. Oh, that's what you think is fucking happening?
Okay, but
you fucking asshole.
But the thing is, even if there was someone who wanted to just hook up because she wants to hook up, that's her damn business.
Yes.
And we're still in a society where men get to have the million notches on their belt and a chick has 2 and you're like, oh, she's a whore. We're still dealing with that in the patriarchy, where men have free reign.
It's also about
to do what they want. What women don't.
Right. His comment is basically saying, you all better be careful who you fuck. How, in what universe do you think you have the right to tell women who they can have sex with, who they can sleep with? It's about controlling what happens in our bedrooms. And I thought the Republicans didn't want anybody in their bedrooms. No. We all know what you all are up to. We all know.
And it's not good.
Baby boy Mike Johnson, he's up to some freaky shit. I can feel it in my bones, Tina. I feel it in my bones.
Oh, baby boy Mike Johnson.
Oh,
Better watch it.
All right, let's just do this because, girl, you got anything else before we get into the campuses?
No.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let me say something real quick. I literally said on the podcast in November when Israel then invaded Palestine, what's the end game? What's the end game? Biden, our greatest ally, right? Israel, we're their greatest ally. Whatever Israel did was always going to be tied to the Biden administration. And I literally said, I'm a 46-year-old idiot. I'm a fucking 46-year-old idiot. And I said, we better be careful. But you don't want to put Netanyahu and tell him, right? Like when Bill Clinton met with Netanyahu back in the 90s, he had a meeting with him after he was elected president, and he came out of the meeting with Netanyahu and he turned to somebody and said, who the fuck is the superpower here? Because Israel is going to do whatever Netanyahu and his right-wing government wants to do, they're going to do it. But you didn't have the foresight to know that? What they have been doing in Gaza and in Palestine for the last 6 months is a goddamn atrocity. And we have watched it, and we have voted to give them money, we have voted to give them weapons. And Biden has come out and said, unacceptable. I've told him unacceptable. I don't know what you guys are saying behind closed doors, but you should have started saying it out in public 4 months ago, 5 months ago. By mid-November, by the end of November, Israel should have not been in Gaza. The ceasefire negotiations aren't going well. Blinken, whatever that guy's name is. He's our ambassador. You don't know what you're doing. And so, as usual, college students, young people are watching these things happen across the country, watching Biden do nothing. Nothing. And watching mass graves being uncovered left and right. Israel has the right to defend themselves. They don't have a right to wipe an entire country off the planet. 40,000 people dead, 14,000 of which are children. It is not okay. We can have loyalty. We don't have blind loyalty. That is not okay. So these children start doing peaceful protests at their schools. And then
there's counter-protesters.
And then there's counter-protesters. And there's agitators.
Yes.
There's a lot of levels of things that are happening here.
That's the thing. That there are these outside agitators that are getting involved. And it's complicated. And we've said it on here before that just because, we would never in 100 million years be on the side of Hamas.
No.
Okay, that's not what this is about. But we are saying that, it's a mass wipeout of people. And that's the thing. That's the thing. And I think that the hostages need to be released. All of that. I think Hamas needs to be wiped out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I can see where young people are like, what is going on? And they want to have a voice in something. And,
listen, this is how college campuses are.
We're teaching them. And I'm going to tell you that I have spoken to many young people and they were already hesitant about Biden. And this is the thing where they're either not going to vote, they're not going to vote at all.
Yeah.
And
again, I said that on the podcast too.
And
I'm not trying to say like, I don't want to make like everything's about November, but I even said back in November, I said, if he does, this will affect his election one way or the other. Could I have predicted what's happening right now on these campuses? No. But I had no idea the amount of mishandling by the police, by the campus, the people running those schools, by the Biden administration. That speech he gave on May 2nd or whatever it was outrageous. And when on my Twitter, it's young people going, no, we do not stand with him.
Yeah.
And also people of color that were quoting, I said to you, they were quoting the letter from the Birmingham jail that Martin Luther King wrote, that moderate whites would rather have law and order than actual dissent. there is no room for anti-Semitism here.
No.
There's no room for for standing in front of people and saying horrible anti-Semitic things to Jewish students. Nobody stands for that. Nobody stands for that.
Never in a million years is that acceptable.
At all. But you don't mention the peaceful protesters. You don't mention the people who are peacefully protesting that were literally, I'm not talking about Columbia, I'm not talking about UCLA, I'm talking about the campuses. Because once they started breaking these campuses down, these protests down, all of a sudden they're popping up on every single campus because there's unity between these children. And also what blows my mind is that we got boomers who were protesting Vietnam on their college campuses and elsewhere who don't support what these kids are doing. How do you all not see the correlation between those two? It makes no sense to me. And I had a conversation with my mother, and she's like, well, they're not really affected by what's happening. We were affected because they had the draft. And I said, Mom, this is different too. They are looking every single day on a little phone.
Yeah.
On their phone, they can see what is happening in Gaza. And they're seeing 14,000 children dead. Is that a reason to protest? Who are we? Who are we? Because it's not outside their door, it's not affecting them personally. They shouldn't be protesting it. Come on, guys.
So protest is only a selfish motivation.
Yeah.
That it's only about saving myself.
It's really fucked up.
Not about other people.
It's really fucked up. And he gave a horrible speech. Y'all need to read the room. There's a real problem, and you know what? It's always been a problem in the Democratic Party, between an older generation and the younger generation. Y'all don't know how to meet. And with Trump on the ballot, Biden had a very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of kids who want to vote. They don't like Trump. He doesn't represent anything they believe in. And they're like, okay, Biden's old, but I'll vote for him. It's going away. And again, I don't want to tie, we got to win this election with how he stands on Gaza, but it matters. And it matters right now more than ever. You got to read the fucking room, y'all. And I don't know if your speech gets you more boomer voters who support you, but all they're saying on TV is these kids, they're spoiled brats. No, they're not. They're compassionate human beings who are at school getting a higher education that's teaching them between right and wrong, what's justice and what's not. These kids are going into classrooms every day learning about their history and what the fuck is going on over there. They're seeing it in real time and they're expressing themselves, and y'all don't want to deal with that? I mean, come on.
There are also Jewish students who are on the side of the peaceful protest. There are Jewish studies professors getting arrested.
There's a lot of professors getting arrested.
A lot of professors getting arrested and losing their job and being suspended. And the fact that they're standing in solidarity with the students.
The Biden administration has been out of touch about Israel and Gaza since the beginning. Now listen, we support Israel with the right to defend themselves. Yes, that's what they gave them, but they gave them too much room. Israel, I don't want to say Israel. I'm going to specifically say Netanyahu and his goons, who are maniacs, are doing this. We can't lump all of Israel. We can't lump all Jewish people in what is happening. No. You've got people who are absolute fucking psychotics running the Israeli government, who are lobbing bombs and mass murdering people. And I know that there are still hostages alive. I'm sure in some way in the background somewhere that we're not aware of, they are trying to get all these hostages out. I want the hostages to be brought home. This doesn't seem like it is strategic. It just seems and looks like, and they literally go on Israeli TV and say that they're going to wipe it out. And it's from the quiet from the White House, it looks like we are supporting that. And when these students are telling you no, I don't believe in destruction of property. I don't believe in taking over buildings. I don't like it
in violence and kids being threatened. None of that should be happening. And like you said, any slurs, none of that should be happening. Jewish students should feel safe on their campuses.
Girl,
they should not feel like they're in fear. Never.
I'm also in a text thread on Twitter, and there was a back and forth, and it's a lot of younger people. I don't even know how I got into this text thread, but
I know,
it's,
I'm in that too.
Yeah, it's a lot of younger people in the party, and then there's older people, I guess, in the party, and then one person in there. They were going back and forth, and the girls, the young woman was complaining because the Florida Democrats booked Senator John Fetterman to be their keynote speaker in May at the Florida Blue. Now, John Fetterman is a loudmouth. And when you go on Twitter, he says if you go to one of these protests, you're either pro-Hamas or you're really pro-Hamas. And when you come to the table with that sort of, if someone says I'm against what's happening in Palestine right now, it's overkill, obviously, right? Like, it's dangerous. There's no way to slow this down. There's no way to stop this. Stop giving money. Stop giving weapons. And someone goes, well, you're obviously pro-Hamas. You put a stop to the conversation. Right. There's no openness to,
my God,
we can't have a conversation about what we are all witnessing with our eyes right now.
Right. And it's, no one is pro-Hamas.
No. That's outrageous.
The other thing that's happening is I've seen some crazy like comments on some posts that are like, oh, this is Hamas like indoctrinating the left, and this is, and
this is what Hamas wants.
This is what Hamas wants.
And quite frankly, this is what happens when you drag your feet as a leader. In my opinion, because a lot of people are like, how are these campus protests, all these things happening with the police? How is that Biden's fault? Biden doesn't run the NYPD. Okay. But also,
he's the leader of the free world.
Biden has not said anything publicly in a stern way that would stop Israel doing what they're doing. I don't give a fuck what he's saying behind closed doors. But when these kids are seeing that there's zero leadership and that their money is going to support this, they're going to protest it. They have every right to do it.
And their protest is they're asking their schools to divest.
Yeah.
Right?
And also,
That's
this at Brown University. This happened. There was a protest. And it was a peaceful protest. They were camped out or whatever. And the administration came to them and said, all right, look,
we're going to do a vote.
Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
And then we're going to put it to
And
a
they
vote.
sat down and they talked. And the protest, I believe, either went away or stayed the way that it was. But they met with these kids and they had a conversation like, well, let's talk about what you want. They didn't go, we're going to call the police on you.
Yeah.
Call the police? Anyway, in this conversation, a young woman was like, why is John Fetterman speaking at this thing? And immediately this girl pipes in and says, oh, so you're pro-Hamas?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking stupid. It's stupid. They went back and forth, but finally some old codger, who I can only imagine is old codger, and I'm not even going to say where they're from, says, this is from a party account. Discussing the Israel-Palestine question is irrelevant to our domestic policies, and it would do us well to simply ignore it. If voters are concerned, we have talking points to fall back on. And of course, I had to jump in because it is not irrelevant. There's
points?
No, and by the way, I don't care what Biden's doing domestically to get reelected. If you can't turn on the television, you can't go on social media without seeing what is happening on college campuses. And the reason they protest is to bring attention to the atrocities that are happening there. That's the point of protest, to keep you aware of what is happening, because people go about their lives
and that's disobedience,
as if it doesn't affect them, as if it doesn't matter. And it absolutely does. To bury your head in the sand and not say John Fetterman speaking at the Florida Dems is it's a short-sighted blind spot, whoever booked that motherfucker. You're ridiculous. Half the party doesn't believe in that. But you know who does? The old fucking people who still support the Florida Democratic Party.
God help us.
You've really shown who you are by booking that person. And quite frankly, there should be massive fucking protests outside that, wherever you're doing that in Orlando. Because every young person on that thread was like, we are disappointed. You should go to Twitter, go to Florida Dems Twitter, and they put the post up announcing him. Read the comments. Read the quote retweets. They're all Florida Dems that are like, what are you doing? Young people. And so when you say to somebody, this is irrelevant to young people, and election after election after election, you say, we need young people. We need to bring the young people in. Where are the youth? Oh, youth don't care. They don't want to be involved. They're telling you this is an issue for them. What are you going to do about it?
And now you've turned away.
And now you go, that's irrelevant. Yeah. 40,000 people dead is not irrelevant, because everything Israel does, the United States is doing. We are allies. We're their greatest ally. So this is a conversation that needs to be had. It cannot be ignored. I support the peaceful protests on these campuses. And I support somebody telling Netanyahu to get it together. And if Blinken, or whatever this guy's name is, who's our ambassador, can't do it, get somebody else. And I mean tough and loud. Somebody tough and somebody loud. Because like Senator Bernie Sanders says, close the checkbook. Close it. Close the checkbook. There's no reason they need another dollar from us to do this.
They've gone a lot of money.
And also, I'd like to say something else.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Tina. This has been burning up inside me all week. I saw a guy on TV, some talking head, say, you know, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, we dropped bombs on Hiroshima. Like, he talked about how they killed 1,000 people, we killed 40,000 people. When 9/11 happened and 3,000 Americans died, we went to Iraq and we killed 140,000 people, right? Like, trying to compare those two things but it's because it's Israel and it's the Jewish people doing it. That's why the Jewish people are not allowed to defend themselves.
That's not what anyone is saying. First of all,
no one is saying and you're that. Also naming two things that were crazy. We should have never gone to Iraq. 140,000 Iraqis dead.
For what?
Misinformation.
On
you
misinformation.
Dumb fuck.
On WMDs, right?
Yeah, that didn't exist.
They didn't exist.
We dropped nuclear bombs. We dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan when Germany had already surrendered and Japan was in talks to surrender. We dropped those bombs anyway.
And I mean,
the repercussions of that
is still now. So still today. It'll never.
You can't compare wars against wars. They're all fucking bad. The Jewish people absolutely have a right to defend themselves.
100%.
But what are we talking? There was never a strategy. It was this horrible, horrible attack on October 7th, and then doors wide open. Now you gave us the opening, and we're gonna fucking run through it, and we're not looking back. And
And where are they supposed to go?
In this day and age, we can't do this. In this day and age, we can't do this. Can't do it. I hesitate to talk about stuff online because I have a lot of Jewish friends that I love dearly and care about. And I don't want to offend not one single person listening to this. It doesn't make me an anti-Semite to say I want a free Palestine, that I want a 2-state solution. That doesn't make me an anti-Semite at all. It doesn't make anybody anti-Semite to say I have sympathy for what's happening in Palestine.
Hamas should be gone. They should not be empowered. These are terrorists.
Yeah. And because you don't agree with what they're saying, then they're pro-Hamas. Like, that's not how the world works. And I'm not Jewish, so I don't know what it feels like to see this or hear this or think like I can't imagine. I can see it from an outside perspective of I'm a 46-year-old idiot who predicted this happening 6 months ago, that there would be a backlash against Biden if he didn't do anything. And also, when you have a leader who his entire political career has been, we support Israel no matter what. That has always been the United States way. And I say you can't have blind loyalty to a country who can behave in this way. If we were doing this, people would be calling us out. And it's taken too long for us to say anything. I don't support this. That's it. Full stop. And I don't support college students who, by the way, I saw an interview with a girl who was set to graduate in a month. She got thrown out of school. And she said it was worth it. 4 years at Columbia.
Wow.
They're putting everything on the line. That girl's got to call her parents and tell them what the fuck's just happened. You know? That they're putting online, what are you doing? These kids have done more than President Biden has done publicly. That says a lot about where we are. Come on, man. No. That's it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
We had a lot. All right. Well, are you ready for another downer?
Fuck this whole episode. Where's that numerology again?
Yeah, wait a minute.
I thought this was a good episode.
You know, it's supposed to be.
Wait.
Hey, you know, the other thing I was thinking, this is so random, but you know, I was listening to some REM the other day, and you know, the song "It's the End of the World as We Know It," I feel fine, and I was like, what the hell end of world situation was Michael Stipe facing or thinking about? Because it's the end of the world, and I don't feel fine.
Bro, he was high.
He was high or something because I don't feel fine. There's nothing fine about what's happening, and I wish that it was an end of world scenario where I would feel fine about it, but I don't.
I think because I gotta tell you, it's very difficult. I told you the other day I had to get off Twitter for a couple days.
I don't feel fine.
Yeah, it's because it's very hard to watch. I literally felt like my head was spinning.
I have to get off of
because there's no reprieve from it, and maybe it's my feed, but it's also just full of just disappointment in the administration and the things that they're doing, and I just can't believe that there's no one there. Please, is anybody waving the red flag at Biden and saying like, "This is the what is the campaign? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. Y'all are man, and you know what? Maybe the youth won't vote. You better hope the boomers show up. If this is your plan, and
women, like you know, it's
that's
like,
the other part.
Putting all of their eggs in the abortion basket. Because is that what they're doing? And that's you know, because
of course they are because they've never done it before, and so now it's imperative.
You know,
and we're going to use women once again.
Yeah, and you know, is it all going to fall on the backs of women to like get him elected?
It always falls on the backs of women to do everything.
Honestly, and we talked about this before, I wish to God if the Democratic Party had some sense, they would have seen Biden as, oh my God, thank God he got elected. You're going to be a one-term dude who saved our country and democracy, and let's plan. Who is the best person to take the helm when you're gone? And it's not, I mean, I love Kamala, but we've said it before that she has that likability problem. Who is someone that has the likability that they could have worked with for 4 years, like even had their face out there, like commenting on, you know what I mean? Like getting the American people used to this person and like, you know, I hate to use the word grooming, but like grooming them.
No, it's a show. You have to make them,
to take the helm. That would have been, I think, the smartest move because he could have bowed out, going, look what I did. You know what I mean? Like, you know, outside of like the whole, you know, foreign affairs piece. But, you know, as far as like all the accomplishments that this administration has had, and then kind of saying like, this is the person that I think is best to kind of run and have or even have a primary, whatever, but like have someone in mind. But running again, I think just was not the right choice. Listen. I think that we can appreciate everything that Biden has done, but step away, like have some foresight. Like if they would have put someone young and like, you know what I mean? Like going up against Trump, I feel like Gavin, a little more,
my baby boy Gavin.
Yeah, a little more progressive. Like,
Girl.
I mean, they could have galvanized moderates, the young people. Like, it could be this other thing. You know what I mean? And
well, again, you started this with like, I wish the Democrats would plan. They don't know how to plan. Literally, the Florida Democrats at 8 o'clock on May 1st, 8 a.m., they tweeted a big thing about women in Florida just lost their right to vote. Here's how you can donate to us so we can keep fighting for you. And I retweeted it with
you were like,
with sirens, and I said no, don't. I said don't. Like, if you've got money, don't ever give money to the party. And if you have money to give, you give it to these organizations. And I put in my comments on that tweet, here are local groups in Florida that you can give money to. And then I said to Florida Dems, do better. Don't. How dare you? I received several emails that day. Ooh. I got one from the Dolphin Democrats. You know what their links were? Here's local abortion groups you can help. That's how you do it, Dolphin Dems. That's how you do it. You don't ask for money for yourself.
Yeah.
How dare you try to raise money off of the fucking pain and torture that women are about to go through, especially when, Florida Dems, you don't know what to do with that money.
And when
you don't know what to do with it. You haven't fucking, you put up billboards all over the state. Fuck you. You know what the DNC did, the National Democratic Committee, on May 1st? They hired a plane with a banner that said abortion is now illegal in Florida, it's Trump's fault. And he flew it around Mar-a-Lago while Trump was there last week. You know what you could do with those thousands and thousands of dollars, DNC? Give it to local abortion groups in Florida and actually help women instead of creating fucking stunts that people will see for 2 seconds on the internet and keep going. They keep scrolling. But the women you could have helped with those thousands of dollars. You're so short-sighted and full of like, what can we get clicks on? Nobody gave a fuck about the plane. I saw it for 2 seconds in the news. Nobody fucking cares. I
didn't see it at all in the news. How about that?
But the thousands of women you could have helped, fuck them though, right? That's how I know you're not really on the side of women. You're not even thinking about how you can help women. How about the Florida Dems uplifts those groups. Here's a group in Central Florida. Here's a group in South Florida.
Right.
Here's a group in North Florida. Uplift the people on the fucking ground that are helping these women get inside because of the fucking lunatics outside. Helping them inside when they're going through this fucking medical procedure. Helping them out so they can get home safely. Finding them where they can go after 6 weeks because now they're in trouble. Getting them go to other states and help them get there. They give them transportation and medical. They help them with the money to get there. That's what these groups do.
So that they can take time off work, because a lot of these women cannot miss days and days of work to go travel. They can't afford a plane ticket. They can't afford a hotel.
Yeah.
And then they got to pay for the procedure.
So these funds go to that. They help these women. For real, help them. Florida Dems have not done anything to help women. Y'all can go fuck yourselves.
Woo!
If I see one more fucking picture of Nikki Fried in those goddamn handcuffs, I'm gonna vomit. Lost 500,000 voters under her. Wasn't it like 500,000 Dems have been lost under that? Also, so in the, you know what we'll do in our YouTube, if you don't mind, I'll send you the groups. You can put a list. And if you're watching this on YouTube, and we'll also do it on our Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put links to local groups that you can donate
I'll put
to.
it in our notes.
In our notes.
Yeah.
All right. And then you can find them in our notes, on our website, on our, anywhere you listen. But YouTube, on our website, find the links, and please
We can put
send
it on
them.
our link tree too, on our
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Go
we'll put it on our
$5, $10. You have no idea how much this helps these women who need to get out of here to get help.
Ooh.
Well, that's a whole hour. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it would be a whole hour of upfront.
Yeah, well, I got a short and sweet.
Girl,
you know me.
You know, I know how you do, girl.
All right, so
Yeah.
today
Oh God.
I'm going to tell you the story of former Randolph, Nebraska Mayor Dwayne Schutt.
Okay.
As a lifelong resident of Randolph, Dwayne Schutt proudly served as Randolph's mayor, but everything changed when allegations of child assault surfaced.
Oh.
Here we go. I'm sorry. So our story takes place around 2017, and
it's always 2017.
I know. So the thing is, I don't have much background because this is like a small ass town. Okay, there are only 940 residents in this little ass town.
Dang.
Okay, and so I tried little ass town.
I know. I wrote down small ass town, little ass town.
So I tried my best to find like a bio, and so basically I just kind of pieced things together from various articles because I just couldn't.
Go on, girl. Let's hear about
So
it.
what I learned was that Schutt lived in Randolph for most, if not all, of his life. And I also learned that he won a 4-year term as mayor in 2010, and he was reelected in 2014. He was born in like 1956, so he's like in his 50s when he first ran for office. All right, so I'm just going to jump into what he did. The major incident. From all accounts, Schutt is accused of child assault, and a WOWT article notes that he was investigated after police were called to his home for a domestic disturbance. The article further noted that the investigation revealed that Schutt was allegedly sexually assaulting a child for about 4 years.
What?
And that it started when the child was 13 years old. So once he was arrested, he posts his bond and he's released while he's awaiting trial. He doesn't step down.
Okay, hold on. So did he? Of course he doesn't.
Yeah.
Did this start? He ran for office while he was doing this.
Well, he was already in office. Yeah, well, 4 years running. Yeah, all of it.
Wow.
So he was charged with intentional child abuse and 4 counts of child sexual assault, and he faced up to 25 years in prison. A Sandhills Express article stated that the allegation said that Schutt laid on top of this girl and tried to take off her clothes, and he touched her inappropriately. Schutt waived his right to a preliminary hearing, and the case ends up going straight to like district court. Okay.
Is this his daughter?
So no.
Okay.
So he pleads not guilty to all of the charges, and the victim's grandmother had this to say, quote, "Well, of course he'll plead not guilty. We expected that, but I'm sure that he is guilty. We are here to support our granddaughter as we were the last time. We love her, and she is smart, beautiful, intelligent, and I'm sure she will get through this."
Oh my God.
So he goes to trial twice. There were these 2 hearings on the case. And like I said, the entire time that he's going to trial and doing all this, he is still sitting as the mayor of this town. does not step down at all, like doing mayor work. Like, it, to me, I don't, it doesn't, it boggles the mind.
He's psychotic.
Like, there's 940 residents. Like,
No.
there weren't even 100 of them, 200 of them, 300 of them, 50 of them, something, like, at that stupid town hall every day demanding this guy to
Somewhere
step down.
in his mind, he has rationalized this, what he was doing was okay. Like, that's what he's done. Like,
Right.
somewhere in his mind, he's justified this.
So, in the end, Schutt takes a plea deal. And he pleaded no contest to, and we know that no contest means that you, the accused person, like, accepts a conviction, but they don't have to admit guilt or innocence, right? So he takes this deal, pleads no contest to intentional child abuse, and according to an AP News article, the prosecutors dropped the 4 counts of child sexual assault and abuse.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know, this is the shit we point to when you're all like, why are women so mad?
Yes.
Why are you so angry? Because nobody gives a fuck about us.
No one gives a fuck.
Not as girls
No.
and not as grown women.
And you know, this is reminding me of this trend that was happening, the man versus bear.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I saw somebody on
So
Facebook.
yeah,
talking
so
about
there's this whole man versus bear thing where you ask someone, like, would you rather, as a woman, like, be alone in the woods and you see a bear, or you see, like, a dude that you don't know? And almost all the women are like, I think I could handle the bear, right? They'd rather be there with the bear. And so I asked my husband, I said, oh, let me ask you something. I asked my husband, I said, if I were in the woods alone, would you rather me be in the woods with a bear or with a man I don't know? And he's like, well, is it hibernation season? Like, you know,
oh God,
is it,
he's getting too many details.
oh, and I said, no. It's a bear or
Yeah.
it's a dude. And he's like, well, you know, we're going back and forth. And I think eventually he's like, no, probably the bear. And I was like, okay, so what if I was in the woods with a bear and some chick? And he's like, well, no, yeah, like the chick. And I was like, there it is, you know, like, and he was like, okay, I get it. And I was like, no, like, you don't get it. Like, the fact that almost every single woman would rather encounter a bear alone in the woods than a man tells us everything that we need to know about men. And it's not all men, but, you know, we don't feel, women never feel safe. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever feel safe? If it's at nighttime and you're leaving someplace by yourself, I'm always like,
I can't walk. How many times do you come out to my house and then right outside the front door, I'll throw like a seltzer bottle box or can box, right? Like, I'll throw it out there because I don't want to walk at night from my front door to where my garbage can is outside because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw it out there so that in the morning when I go to my car or whatever, I can just throw it in the garbage. I don't want to walk 20 feet. Don't want to walk it. This reminds me of something else I'd like to tell you about. My boyfriend sent me this video and he said, read the comments. It was a girl in some South American country. I don't know where it was. And the guy had her as a hostage. He had his hand around her throat and a gun to her head. And they were outside and they were at a wall and he was this, right? What? And the cops were there telling him, and it was all about this one cop who walked up with a video camera like he was a cameraman, but he was pretending, and he was able to fucking hit the guy in the head or whatever, take it away. But when you look at the comments, they were the very first comment was,
why was she there?
It looks like she likes to get choked. I wonder if she likes to get choked when she's getting fucked.
Oh, that's even worse than I thought.
Ooh, it looks like she's enjoying being choked. What's her number? Comment after comment. This woman had a gun to her head and was in distress. And all the men saw when they watched it, or these men in particular, was that they thought about fucking her and if she likes to be choked. Because that's what we are, right?
We're just things.
Vaginas.
We're just things.
For your dick to be inserted.
Yeah.
Of course, if you come inside of us, nowhere to be found when we get pregnant. But that's what these insane fucking lunatics saw of this very young girl. She might like to be choked. It's disturbing. We don't have peace ever.
No.
So yeah, I'll take the bear.
Me too. Fuck.
I'd rather the bear go like this to me and my throat gets cut and I die than deal with some fucking dude who I don't know sexually assaulting me and I have to live with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather die by the bear. Thanks. Because the police aren't going to help me.
Nope.
And then when I go to the police, You can get an abortion in the state of Florida after 6 weeks if you have a rape report. You got to go to the police and get a report saying that you reported the rape. You got to bring that to the clinic, to the doctor, and show that you reported the rape. So,
wow.
If they believe you.
If they believe you, that's the thing.
Anyway.
And then, yeah, because now can you imagine? Because then it's going to be like, well, was this really a rape or are you trying to get an abortion?
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And you got this girl here being some creepy dude wants to lay on top of her.
A
child. Try to take her clothes off. An adult man laying on top of this scared girl.
13-year-old. 13 of 17.
And the court just said to her, we don't really, he can do whatever he wants. It don't matter.
So he was sentenced to a year of probation. And so now the article did note that the victim agreed to and supported the plea deal. So, I think sometimes, like, maybe as victims, they just, okay, like, it's over.
Yeah, they don't want to testify. It's scary.
Let's just get it,
Yeah, yes.
So the aftermath. So in 2018, George Bradley, a former school board member, beat Mayor Dwayne Schutt in the mayoral race. So he ran for mayor again after all of this, okay? And then in October 2022, Schutt petitioned to have his conviction set aside, and the judge agreed and signed off on it. So basically it means the conviction is voided. It's not erased from the permanent record, but it's voided, okay? And then in 2022,
I give up.
Dwayne Schutt ran again as a write-in candidate, and they voted for him. So he's currently serving right now in this podunk town in Nebraska. Like, what are you doing, little town in Nebraska? Like, there were other people, and like that and a write-in candidate. Like, you're what? There were other people. You had other options, but you went with the alleged person who committed child sexual assault. Yeah. So when he won,
oh God, Tina.
He said, quote, "I'm happy to be the mayor of Randolph again. I hope I can do a very good job. I care a lot about the town. If I didn't, I wouldn't have run again." You care a lot. You care a lot. So,
girl.
And the other thing, my last thing, I'm sorry.
No,
the thing
ahead.
that I thought was cuckoo. Mm-hmm. So the guy that ran against him, that George Bradley, when he won the election, the first thing he did was thank Schutt for his service. And I was like,
ooh, there's that nice girl.
I was accused of abusing a child.
I sent you that tweet.
A plea deal. He pleaded no contest, right? Like, but it's clear something happened.
Yeah.
Why are you giving him time and why are you giving him respect? I don't understand. Why? I don't understand.
I sent you a tweet this morning, or no, yesterday. It's that, is it affable? No. What is it? It's the respectability of politics, where they vote against your rights on the floor, and then you walk off the floor and they're like, "Hey, how are your kids doing?" "Oh yeah, my kids are good. How are you?" That respectability. No, I sent you a tweet this week. A local person retweeted something about someone who did something they didn't like, and they're like, "Well, I wish them well." You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Just list the ways that this person disappointed you and move on.
Or don't say anything
There's
at all.
no way that person...
Why do you have to say anything at all?
That's right. That's true. But, like, cut it. It just makes you look fake as fuck. You look so fucking fake.
Thank you for your service.
No, don't thank people for their service. Even when... And I gotta tell you, I'll tell you another way I don't like respectability politics. When one of the Republicans' spouses die. Oh, our prayers, our thoughts and prayers are with you right now. No.
Don't say anything.
Why? I don't get it. These people literally take away your fucking rights, and you want to say, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
Same thing. Casey DeSantis when she had breast cancer, which, and she was same thing. All of them were like, "Oh, we're sending our prayers to your family and to your husband, and I hope everything's great." Why?
They don't care about you.
No. That man took away Medicare from 40,000 children. In Florida, have no health care.
That is outrageous.
Did you see that article in the paper about the kid who is a quadriplegic and they just lost their Medicaid in Florida, and the father's like, "I don't know what we're gonna do." He's a full-time caretaker of his son, who's a quadriplegic, was born that way.
Yeah.
Had the baby.
Listen, they're pro-life.
Yeah, right? You know what?
This is all part of the pro-life plan, right?
Dropping all the kids from Medicaid.
Yeah.
Woo. Girl.
Oh my God, I can't.
And Florida rejected the Medicaid. It's not like it's a national thing.
I know.
State of Florida did it on purpose.
I can't stand this. I hate this state.
No, I told you. I'm already looking at houses. I'm already looking at houses. I'm getting out of here.
State.
I'm getting out.
I can't stand it.
It's the most. It also came out this week. It is the most unaffordable state in the country.
Yeah.
And we are now 50 on where we pay teachers.
50th. Hi. Yay.
I said to Tina, I go, how are y'all doing over there? Because you got 2 teachers in town.
Yeah. And
Girl.
not to mention, and I sent this to you, that I'm paying almost $15,000 a year. $15,000 in just my homeowner's insurance and my property tax.
Yeah, not the mortgage.
Not the mortgage.
Girl.
Like, it is, it's hard.
I know it is.
Come on. Well, that's it. That's my story of the, molesting mayor who won Reelection. Yay.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, can't we do better?
I don't know who listens to this. I don't know where you are.
If you're in Nebraska, send a letter to that town.
We all need to start paying more attention to people like this.
Oh, God.
And it matters.
And not electing them?
Because even if there's one child who's affected and is watching that this
and this
the
guy's
town
the mayor
supports
of
it.
This guy is the mayor of your town. You're living in this town.
What are you saying?
What
message are you sending this person and the world and the whole world? Like, what are you doing? And this is a one-off. This isn't a one-off. This is like this happens all the time. Yeah. Happens all the time. Well, let's just say real quick that Trump did get fined in contempt. The prosecutor in the case said, because jail time is an option for that. And he's like, I don't want to do jail time right now, but I reserve the right to do it if he does this again. I think he walked out and did something again. But Hope Hicks testified yesterday. Ooh. And
it's going to get...
she was a very good friend of those kids, those Trump kids.
Yeah.
And when they hired her to work on the campaign, one of the kids even said, I hope we don't ruin Hope after this, because she was a good person, good friend to the family, and very smart, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she testified the prosecution. She knew everything about this bribe. And she even said she remembers that Trump so much wasn't worried about the campaign, but he was worried about his family, his wife, and his children finding out about it. And that was his concern, which is another reason why they did the bribe.
Yep.
You know what?
Oh, gosh. All right, well, happy 222.
Girl. I wonder how many people are going to hate me after they hear the podcast today. I feel bad. It's a hard situation.
It's a hard situation, and
I'm worried about. I'm worried about the election. I'm very concerned about the election because this will turn people off. And I'm sorry, y'all, but if Trump's reelected, y'all don't even know what's coming. It's and if you live in a very comfortable life right now and you're like, everything will be fine. We've survived presidents before.
There are certain people that are going to survive Trump because they have money and resources and abilities to go and do whatever they need to do to protect themselves and their family. But we're not all in that situation. And a Trump presidency for this country...
It's it would be very dark, and
I don't know if I could survive it. I really don't. I am, you said it to me, you have to get off the socials. I can't do it. At night I put on a show. I'm, crocheting. I'm doing everything I can because it's too overwhelming to me, and I get so anxious. And the closer we're creeping to this election, and the more things that are happening, it's really...
Biden did not need this right now.
No.
He did not need this.
No.
He was actually, after we got over the old man debate hump, we got over that hump, by the way.
Yeah.
We really did.
Yeah.
And we were doing okay.
I don't know. We'll have to see how the summer goes, I guess.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal.
Oh, and then one last thing. I am in the middle of watching Baby Reindeer.
Woo!
That is an uncomfortable show to watch.
I know it is, and I've seen people online saying they don't like it, but I gotta tell you,
it's really good.
It discusses things that need to be discussed, and this writing and his acting is incredible. When you get to those scenes towards the end of the show,
God.
where are you on what episode?
I am kind of in the middle. I'm right around where that older dude.
Okay.
Sort of grooming him.
Yeah.
And he's split with the girl. It's kind of like
that's a hard episode.
It's sort of how did I get here with her? Connecting with her.
Yeah.
And that's right where I'm at. She a great actress? She is great, but she is this character is bonkers beyond hope. And then when you see the backstory, I just, and I think, and you mentioned it last time, but like, you know, and I mentioned it to my husband, I'm like, we don't hear about assault from men a lot, you know, and it happens, and it's very uncomfortable, and I don't know, I think it's good. It's a great show. I know.
Thinking about, there's a scene at one of the last episodes that he's on stage, and he breaks down. He talks about himself in a way that is so vulnerable, and it reminds me a lot of
that ending of
the bear, when he talks about himself, and like just this. I don't know how to do it with kids, but like to have no confidence and not believe in yourself and not have any sort of self-esteem, how dangerous that is.
Yeah.
If you come across someone who will take advantage of you. Like,
because they just want
that
love.
Is so dangerous. They just want
love.
Attention and love, and somebody shows them a little bit of affection, and like they believe in you, and they can destroy you. They can just and it's this man, what he wrote and how he performs, like this.
It's so good.
Is it crazy? Like, I can't believe this is happening. Yes, but it also goes to. There's a scene where she does something to him and he immediately freezes, and I thought, oh God, something has happened to him. Yeah. It goes beyond, like, but he's just, it's an incredible, to take, like, just go underneath the surface. That's the thing. It's not just about, this crazy stalker or whatever. It's like, this person is so broken, and when you're broken like that, you will allow all kinds of things to happen to you.
And I think also, and I'm not towards the end, but I think he sees something broken in her, and he has such empathy for it. Yeah. And he's not understanding that, like, it doesn't matter what you do, like, you're not going to help her, you know? Right. I can't wait for you to get to the end, because even up to the very last scene, I was like, what the fuck? Oh, God. The last scene made me cry so much. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. All right, well
anyway, this episode, I don't know, girl.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.